Welcome back, pals. It's your pal Rick. I did a nice little solo episode since Georgie was out of town today, but we had Travis Denning on the pod. If you don't know who Travis Denning is he's a country music singer. He's had songs on the country charts. He's blowing up. He just had an EP that just released with the lead single, Buy a Girl a Drink. Great dude. We ended up chatting fishing, country music, a lot of fishing actually. He talked about his wedding and some of the other things he's working on, the shows he's doing. He's toured with Dirk Bentley. He's doing a tour with Jake Owen, a lot of other cool people. So definitely check this one out. He was a great guy, and I'm actually going to see his show tonight, which will be super fun and super cool. So check him out, give him a follow. And we'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, Erdinger. Guys, this beer is great. We've been drinking it on the episode. Travis had some with me. They're actually the lead sponsor of Toronto's Oktoberfest, which is taking place September 30th and October 1st. At the parking lot outside of Ontario Place. So we've got a link in the bio for the episode. And if you use the code PALSPOD, you get $5 off. So make sure you check it out. Grab the beer at your local LCBO beer store. It's the #1 wheat beer in the world. It's also great. It's very light, easy to go down. So check it out. And guys, honestly, share this pod with your friends. This is a good one. And stay tuned. And LFG, let's, Danny, say it. Go. People, just because I feel like you guys are the best storytellers.
We can be. It can run long-winded, though.
Oh, but I love it. That's the best part, like, especially with our pod. Like, we can literally talk about anything and everything, and there's no, like, set agenda. It's not like, hey, we got to touch upon these points. Like, you can ask Allie. Sometimes, like, we'll sit there. We'll get to the end of the episode, and she's like, oh, talk about the EP.
Yeah. You didn't say anything about it.
No, like, we just forget to talk about it. But let's start with the EP today so we don't forget.
Perfect.
Keep management and the PR in the background happy. So
yep.
Let's hear about it. Obviously, the main single was Buy You a Drink, right?
Buy a Girl a Drink.
Buy a Girl a Drink, and that's about your fiance.
Yeah. It's kind of just really, I had the title for it, and I thought the title was pretty boring. Like, just Buy a Girl a Drink. But I was like, maybe there's a way that the song can kind of expand out of that. And yeah, I was on a writer's retreat with 3 of my really good friends and favorite people to write songs with, and we were down at the beach. I threw it out. And I think this was like the last day. A writer's retreat is 2 things. It's like the business side of it is like when you get some buddies and maybe a producer or somebody really good with tracks, and you go somewhere away from Nashville, get away from the craziness, go write a bunch of songs, really focus and hone in. On the flip side, it's really just a place to go get really drunk.
Yeah.
And try and write songs. It's a balance of the two.
We've had a couple people on, they say the same thing. It's like work all day, and then they say the last day is just like a wild night out.
Yeah, it's usually all of that in the whole trip.
Yeah.
It's usually like, we won't necessarily like go out, but it's like usually wake up, 10 a.m., get some breakfast. It's like, let's write a song, get some lunch, probably switch to liquor. If it's football season, we'll stop, watch a game, all this, and then we go get dinner and have drinks and all that. But this was like the last night of this. This one I kind of like dialed it back a little bit, but I was still woke up a little bit of a hammer in the head, and I threw out the idea. I said, look, I got this idea. Buy a girl a drink. I was like, I got to go take a shower. So I go take a shower, come back. My buddy Chase McGill, who was one of the co-writers on it, he just had buy a girl a drink, talk to her all night, call her 3 days. And he had this whole thing, and I was like, oh, damn, that's what this is. It's build up the incredible, crazy story of a love that lasts a lifetime from buying a girl a drink. And so once we kind of had that concept, man, it poured out of us. And I just leaned into like what I was thinking about with Madison and how far we had come. And we had so much more to go. We're just starting. We're like 38% through the chorus of our lives. So man, it came super naturally, and that's why I really love singing that song.
It's so funny, like a lot of country songs are based on like kind of love and that idea.
Love, drinking, stuff.
Yeah, like trucks and that whole kind of cowboy mentality. And I love it. That's why, again, when you have like people like yourself on the podcast, like we get to share so many funny stories and kind of amazing memories. But I want to ask about writing camps and those things. What's your favorite moment from like one you've done recently?
Oh, man. I'll tell you, actually, this isn't a recent one, but it is really funny. This was one of the first writers retreats I ever went on.
Are they writers retreats or writer camps? Same shit?
Well, yeah, it's like, same thing. Okay. Like I hear writing camp, writers retreats, camp of writers, all this stuff. One of my favorite memories, it was one of the first ones I went on. I just signed my record deal, and we were just getting ready to go in the studio. And I went, same thing. We were at Smith Lake in Alabama. Stayed up all night. We started passing the guitar around. Chase McGill was on that one. Jesse Alexander, who I wrote my first single with.
Good things happen with Chase McGill here.
Oh, hell yeah, yeah. Chase is a phenomenal songwriter, and he's just a good old boy, and I love him. The house I live in, I bought from Chase.
Really?
I'm actually weirdly connected to the McGills.
Apparently.
Yeah. I've cut his songs. I live in his old house, all that. But we're partying, all that. It's like 1 a.m., and I'm like, oh, I'm getting tired. I go to bed, and at like 3 a.m., I'm kind of lucidly waking up, and I just hear, "Ow! Ow!" And I'm like, dude, there's wolves or coyotes. Then I like wake up, and I'm like, I hear laughing. I'm like, Chase and Stover, who's my producer, are out there screaming at the top of their lungs in the backyard. The next morning I wake up, I'm like, what the hell was that? They're like, dude, we were just howling at the moon, man. I mean, they were screaming at the top of their lungs. I mean, that was pretty. I mean, like when you wake up and you're like, oh my God.
Because you're like half asleep, right?
Yeah, I'm like, there's coyotes.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's two rednecks. Yeah. That was just so stupid and so funny. It was like, and I just went back to bed. I'm like, all right. I was like, oh, it's Jeremy. It's Jeremy and Chase. This is whatever.
It's like one of those ones where you're like half asleep. You're like, did that really happen, or was that a dream? Like,
oh man, so funny, so good.
All right, man, I love that. You said you were a football fan too.
Yep.
Dogs fan?
Damn right, baby.
Yeah, me and my other co-host Georgie.
I ain't gonna lie to you. It might be a repeat year.
It might be. You guys are always like top 5. It's
like
you guys, Alabama, LSU,
Ohio State. I mean, Oklahoma's good too. I just think right now, and I just saw something. It was the first 3 games of last year compared to the first 3 games of this year, and on points scored, points allowed, and points per game, we're like 20% higher than last year.
So you think it's repeat?
Crushing it.
I'm heading down to Ohio in end of November. I'm going to see Ohio State versus Michigan State.
That'd be
Apparently
awesome.
good rivalry.
Yeah.
Just did. We did Bills versus Titans Monday nighter in Buffalo.
Dude, that was an ass whooping.
It was. It's
not fun for a Nashville boy.
Man,
yeah.
I'm a Titans fan. Me and George
Yeah.
are both Titans fans. You're like, you go down there and you're like, what the F just happened?
I will say though, I think the Bills are winning it all this year. And
You know,
if they don't, then there's something wrong.
Yeah, by proximity, we're still Bills fans just because it's the closest.
It's the
NFL
closest
team to
thing.
here, right?
And honestly, it's hard not to root for the Bills. Like they've just
Bills
been
Mafia.
They've been dog shit
and
for
they lost
so long.
4 Super Bowls in a row. Like
I know, crazy.
Like-
and like Josh Allen seems like a good dude.
just gunslinging,
Isaiah
like-
McKenzie, Georgia boy.
Yeah?
Like, yeah, man. So I kind of pull for the Bills a little bit.
yeah, what's your favorite? Oh, actually, no, you're a big fisherman too, right?
Yeah.
I
love
heard
to
that on
fish.
another either show you did or something. You go
Yeah.
solo fishing.
Oh yeah, I don't really like fishing with anybody else. I'll fish with my friends who like to fish as much as me, but
What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
I think the biggest I've ever caught was probably a striped bass in the summer of 2020. See, it's difficult because there's different answers of different fish, but I do think weight-wise total was a striper I caught in 2020. It was like 32 pounds.
Shit, that's a good one.
I mean, it was like probably half this couch lengthwise.
Wow,
Insane.
Actually, I got a really funny story about the first time I ever went fishing. I didn't know you're supposed to fish first thing in the morning, right? Like, apparently
Oh
that's
yeah,
like-
early.
Yeah,
Beat
yeah,
the
early
sun
thing.
up. Yeah.
So one day I'm
That's
at
another reason why I fish by myself.
Yeah.
No one wants to get up that
I
early.
gotta go to like 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
right? I went fishing one day. We were all drinking. We're fishing off the dock, right? And like we're all, I don't know, maybe 10 beers deep at this point. And we're fishing, not catching anything. We put some worms on. Okay, we catch something. We're so drunk. I thought I caught this massive fish. I'm like, this. I got a picture of it. So proud. Next morning, I wake up. I check Instagram. I look at the fish. The fish is, I don't know, 8 inches, 12 inches
Nothing,
max.
yeah.
And I'm like, in my head, that was like a 3-footer.
Yeah.
And I'm like carrying it, like
But if
flexing,
you
like
but
no
if you-
jers, like.
But if you hold it right and you hide your elbow, you can
That's
get
it.
the
Eh? That's the
angles
depth
right.
perception, eh?
Oh, dude, I get so much crap from people about that. It's like they're like, "Oh, you're holding it right." I'm like, "Bitch, I'll show you the scale." I mean, I took a picture of that too because I knew you were gonna say it. You know, it's like,
You know what's so funny? You ever see those like memes and stuff where it's about like girls like rating guys like Hinge pro? Well, I guess you wouldn't be on dating apps, but it's like
yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
but I know what you're talking about where they rate on the pic of
on the fish
fish
pictures and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like yeah,
They're like, this one's good. He's got his shirt on. He actually looks like he genuinely enjoys
and he
fishing.
caught this fish. It's not
Caught
the one
this-
his buddy caught.
Yeah, this like the buff cowboy. They're like, no, not
Yeah.
at all. They're like, yeah, it's posed.
You ever go deep sea fishing?
Yeah, every now and then. I actually really love to, when it comes to saltwater, I like to like fish on the bay side, like Tampa Bay and stuff, because it's a lot similar to just fishing a lake or a river because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really shallow. You're fishing the bank, you're fishing docks or whatever. And I love those fish, like redfish and snook and all that. They taste great, but they're also just a fun fight. But I think my bachelor party is going to be like I want to go massively like sail fishing, like marlin fishing.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to do is like rent a big old sport yacht.
I know exactly what you mean.
Dude, get the hell out there. Like 100 damn miles. Like, let's go for it.
Man, I love it. We did back in 2000 and I don't know, maybe 13 or 14. We went a big group of us down to Saint Martin, and one day we rented a big boat, took us out. We're all hungover, so we're all like in the basement of the boat, trying not to throw up, just dying.
Is that island where the planes land? Like super
right
close?
over the beach. Yeah, exactly that one. So we ended up going, and we didn't catch a single fish. Like every time we got one, it like fell off the hook or something. And then towards the end, we got this massive thing. It was a 30-minute fight to catch. It was a blue marlin.
That's awesome.
And it's just a massive thing. And the best part is like they cut it up right.
Oh yeah,
there for you.
They fillet it for you.
Yeah, we ordered a chef, or not ordered. We hired a chef that night to cook us like a private dinner.
So bad.
So he literally we came there with this massive piece of fish. He made like 6 different like courses with that one fish.
That is so amazing. I'll tell you, probably one of my favorite stories like that was I was fishing in Vero Beach, Florida, home of Jake Owen, good buddy. We're touring with him this fall, and I took a friend of mine down there this is my best friend from high school and everything. He was deploying. He's in the Air Guard in the U.S., and so he was deploying to Okinawa for like 3-4 months. So I was like, let's go do a fishing trip before you get out of town. And we went fishing the riverside and all that, and I caught a snook that was in slot, so I was able to keep it, and I caught it early.
Sorry, say that again.
In slot. So what that means is at anywhere where like there's the regulations on what you can keep. For like a snook, anything.
What's a snook? I don't even know what a snook is.
All right, a snook is like a bay area fish, so very shallow water, and they're just a badass apex predator. They taste really good. If you ever see one, it's just kind of it's so weird. It's like a sporty looking fish. It looks like a Mustang. You know what I mean? Like it looks like a Corvette, and it has they're very light colored with a small, skinny, very black line all the way down the side of them. Okay. Very beautiful.
See, Danny, this is where you like superimpose the picture of the fish, right? Like
get you a snook
right over us,
just
here.
right here on my face.
Yeah.
In slot means between 24 inches and I think 30.
So is that before they're fully matured, I guess, or is it?
They're matured, but it's like. It's just the right size that you're allowed to keep because, and there's, I'm a fish nerd, bro. I mean, the whole podcast might be fishing.
Hey, man, I'm cool with that. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, damn right. Anything definitely over 40 inches, that is a massive fish.
Sounds like a big win.
Yeah. Anything over that is always female. So you can't keep all those because then you'll dilute the female population, all that. So it's just more like, they just in that slot of measurements what you can keep. It changes all the time. Sometimes it's bigger, sometimes smaller. But I caught one in slot. We kept it. And same thing. I thought, well, we're going to be done at lunch. I want to find somewhere to get this cooked. So I actually called Jake Owen and I said, hey, where can I go get this? He said, give me 5 minutes. He called Riverside Cafe, which was like this bar and restaurant that he used to play coming up in Vero Beach. He's like, go there, ask for Chef Rusty, whatever. And they're like, tell him I sent you. I'm like, oh, that'll be, here's what they drop a name. Jake Owen sent me. Yeah. And you and the other 900 people who try to drop that. But I walked in and asked for the chef. They're like, y'all Jake's friends? I was like, yeah. They're like, okay. We go around back. We meet him and he's literally just like this. He's like, what do you want?
See this thing.
He's so excited. So we have it. He goes, all right. He's like, what do you want? I said, we definitely want a sandwich, blackened sandwich. I said, and you just do whatever you want. And he made us a snook piccata. And I've had chicken piccata before. Dude, it was like literally shut your mouth good. I mean, I couldn't even vocalize how good. I was just like, oh my. Oh.
Well, it doesn't get better than that, right? Like fresh fish.
Dude, I mean, like
morning.
Swimming an hour before that, just like there is nothing better than those moments. 100%. And they're so cool because like, you feel a little like barbaric. Yeah, you're like I provided.
I did this.
As I drink my mango martini in air condition. I'm a man, yeah.
It's the flip-flops on.
Yeah, exactly. My neon colored shirt or something. But I love that shit. And that's why I love fishing so much. And And it's big. I mean, when I fish at home, I fish by myself and early in the morning because it's just a dude.
Don't you ever get lonely out there?
Hell no. That's why I go out there by myself.
Like, do you bring a guitar with you or something? Are you just sitting there, music and just chilling?
I actually rarely listen to music, but I will. Sometimes I do, especially in the fall. Like, there's something about kind of when it's cooling down. You don't have to get out there as early as possible because now the water temperature is a little better. Dude, I'll get out there, maybe a couple beers, and I'll put on my like number one record I listen to when I'm on the water is a Pretty Good Guy by Chris Knight.
Okay.
He's a songwriter from Kentucky. He's probably my favorite singer-songwriter ever. And I listen to him a lot. I listen to like Steve Earle, the Allman Brothers Band. Just like really like...
Yeah, kind of chill stuff.
Yeah, chill stuff. Like get you in a little zone. But dude, I'll be honest. Like if I'm out there 5 a.m., I love hearing the woods wake up. Like I love hearing.
That's
what I love to hear
like,
is the crickets.
You're
and the
out there with
birds
nothingness.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not like there's like animals that you can really hear. Because like if you're in the woods, you're hunting. At least you hear things. Like you're listening for the cracks. You're listening for like the tree branches.
Yeah.
Anything. Fish don't really make noise
unless the only time they really do. And this is my favorite thing ever is like if they're like right now they're chasing bait fish like little fish because they have spawned again, so there's just a million of them. And when you get out there early in the morning, there's nothing better than the sun coming up, and you can hear them breaking the plane of the water.
Yeah, okay.
And we call it blowing up. You hear, and you just go like, oh shit, here we go. And you might see it, and you're like, throw over there, baby, you know. And I mean, I went the other day with a friend of mine, and they were just everywhere. And we would see them blow up, and we would just throw. And by the time you set over, you had them, and that's really fun. But yeah, but you're right. Like in a normal day, there's something for me. I think what I love is like looking out over like glass water, really flat, and just being like, I wonder what the hell's under there. I think that's why I love it so much.
That's fair, yeah.
And then you get just some big ass sumbitch eat it, or sometimes you get absolutely nothing. But at least you saw the sun come up and it was beautiful. You know?
That's what it is too. It's like when you see the sun reflecting and you have like that nice like orange glow on the water and it's so crisp and clear.
Yeah,
and sometimes you get the fog too. Like
I'm not getting asked to take the dogs out. I'm not getting asked to make someone a cup of coffee. Madison, I'm sorry, I'm dogging you right now.
Shots fired.
Yeah, you know, I'm not getting. You know, I'm just out there by myself. And
do you hunt at all?
I mean, I do. I really love to duck hunt. That's probably my favorite. And I think that's kind of by default because it's kind of the only season of hunting where I'm on a break.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, over the holidays and I'm usually not on the road, so I can actually duck hunt. I grew up, first thing I ever did really was like deer hunt with my grandfather. But man, I think just by the time I got to that moment in my life where you started diving into your hobbies, like, dude, I picked up a guitar and I was just head over heels obsessed with it. And so it just wasn't like a massive priority in the fall, you know, and again, football as well. It's like on weekends we went to Athens. I mean, my dad was a season ticket holder.
You had to.
So it's like, that's why I never really dove hunted. Opening day of dove hunting was the opening day of Georgia football, and I wanted to go to the game.
Did you ever play football?
I did one year, and we won our little Super Bowl, whatever it was, and I considered that a good win to go out on, and I said, "Screw this."
That's it, Ed.
Dude, contact sports were not. I was not made for that, dude. I got laid out one time, and I was like, I just don't like that.
That's why I used to play wide receiver, and then I switched over to defensive backs. I'm like, I just don't want to get hit,
dude. I'm
the one hitting people now.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're like, this is fine.
I can do this.
Unless
when you get
friendly,
burned a couple times, you're like, oh shit. This is
awkward.
And
then you're like, I'm gonna get my ass whooped by the coach. Is what's gonna happen. But yeah, I think there's that moment every like young boy's upbringing where they decide whether or not either they like getting hit or can stomach it, or like me, I was just like, this ain't for me, bro. I mean, I got lopsided at practice.
What position did you play?
I was an offensive lineman, but this was early on, and they were like, who wants to try running back?
Bro, how are you an offensive lineman?
Bro,
you're like my size.
I was a little pudgy back then, dude. I was a little
bro,
pudgy
you're what,
boy.
you 5'11" or something?
Yeah.
You're 5'11". Okay, even if you're a little bit
I'm like
pudgy,
180 soaking wet now, so yeah.
I'm like, you're literally my size.
I know. Well, you know,
this
was fifth grade,
yeah,
so like we're all. But I remember they were like, "Who wants to try running back?" And I was like, "I will. Like, give me the ball."
Course,
like,
man.
And dude, I just like power up the middle, and I just got hit, went sideways, laid down. I was like, "No, sir." I was like, I hated that, dude. And then I sucked at everything else too.
That's fair.
I was so bad at soccer, so bad at basketball. I golf a little bit. Baseball was a little better because I think baseball is a lot more, I'm not going to say technical, but I think there's so much more strategy to each moment in a baseball game.
Well, even the hand-eye coordination is a big part of that.
Right, yeah. But, dude, with baseball, like, I remember at practice, I was at bat, and the pitcher threw one low and super inside, and I jumped up to miss it. I jumped too late, and it hit directly on the ball of my ankle. And, dude, that feeling, I was like, I hate that. Like, that sucked. It hurt so bad. And it was like shaking up my leg.
You got blown up in football, quit.
Hitting the ankle, for God's sake.
Baseball, quit. That's how your music career started.
Yeah, exactly, literally.
Maybe if it didn't.
I know, dude.
I played baseball in high school and never really played growing up.
Yeah.
So I tried out for the team like my senior year. And I was like, hey, well, the last team you played on, I'm like, I don't know, the yellow team in house league, right?
Yeah.
Like 20 years ago. So I was allowed, like I'm a loud, energetic guy. So like, hey, he's a senior. You know, we need that confidence on the bench. Plus, I could hit the ball far. So somehow made this team. So on the position, I put first base, outfield, or pitcher. I'm a lefty. How hard can pitching be?
Right.
Never pitched in my entire life, ever. My best friend was like, went to go play like D1 baseball down south. He's like, Ricky, it's easy. You got this. You got this. Fuck, all right. Coach calls, okay, Rick, you're going in. Go warm up. I've never even stood on the mound before my entire life. So I got no idea what I'm doing. First batter, hit him. Second batter, hit him. Like
just
literally,
smoking.
First pitch. Coach comes out. He's like, Rick, you're a pitcher. I was like, yeah. He's like, you sure? I was like, no, I've never pitched, but give me at least a third batter. Like, let me load the bases at least. Like, we're winning like 10-0.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, I'll give you one more batter. I'm like, all right, sick. Strike one, strike two. We're winning 10-0. My whole dugout's going nuts because they know I've never pitched in my entire life. Everyone's going nuts, like cheering for me. Peg the kid in the head. And I'm like, that's it.
Yep.
My pitching career is over. My baseball career is over. Coach like, Ricky, like, did you have to hit him in the head? I'm like, do you think I meant to do that?
Yeah, I
like,
did not mean to do that.
If I tried to do this, it would have been a strike. Like,
dude, that was like the Phillies the other night. Did you see that where they were down like 18-10 or whatever?
No.
And they sent in their catcher to pitch.
Yeah, like,
and he was throwing like
lobs.
37 miles an hour lobbing. And he gets like 3-2 pitch and just sends a fucking 82 mile an hour down the middle. And they're just like, like freaking out. They're just, I mean, the whole, he's laughing so hard because he's just like, I just pulled that off. Like, oh my God.
It's the best when things like these random moments in sports. I doubt you would have heard of this, but in Toronto, something happened. Like one of our backup goalies for the Leafs got injured or something. So they called up, they couldn't call up the AHL team, the farm team, because they were down south or something.
Yeah.
So they called the Zamboni driver, who's like their like emergency call up.
Wow.
Something happened to the starting goalie during the game, and the Zamboni driver finished the game.
Damn.
It was like the biggest news ever. It's like, it's such a feel good like sports moment. Cause like this guy literally is an average Joe.
Well, isn't there,
cleaning the ice?
There's a whole thing too, like in the NHL, like the reserve goalie.
Yeah. It's like, and
it can just be, it can literally be a fan in the crowd.
Yeah, it's like a random
person.
person.
A lot of times
it was a Zamboni driver. Like, are you kidding me? Imagine you're driving the Zamboni like an hour later, like, okay, suit up. You're like, what? Like,
it's so crazy. I've heard stories about like every single NHL team has whatever it is, but a lot of times it can literally just be a dude that just plays intramural in Nashville or something.
Men's league.
And they go like, well, he's pretty good. They're like, we need you here for this game and this game. And I mean, they might yell your name over the intercom and you got to come down and play.
Man, that'd be wild.
That is such a hockey move.
It is.
Like, just like.
Well, hockey players are like a different
get
breed
that
too.
guy.
Like,
dude.
Hockey players get hit in the ball, their foot, they're like, all right, shake it off. I'm going back out next shift.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are like crazy.
They like hit 1-2 out. They're like, get the one on the opposite side so it's at least symmetrical.
Yeah. Did you ever go to Predators games?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Man, when they made their Stanley Cup run, I went to I think 3 playoff games, and it was awesome. I was there when they clinched the series against the Blues in overtime. That was literally, I think that was one of the most amazing sports moments I've witnessed. Like, just the electricity in the room was just utterly
I heard
insane.
Preds fans are crazy. Like, I heard they're like some of the best fans.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to like prove, which I think they did now. So now it's a little bit normal, but I mean, dude, they would sell out every game for so long. And a lot of times they are still slinging tickets. And I just think us going to the Stanley Cup was like this huge moment for Nashville to prove that like they're a hockey town and they really love this team. And dude, all that stuff you saw, the 100,000 people downtown, 200,000 people downtown watching, like that, those were all fans. I mean, they really are. I mean, I have so many friends that are obsessed with it. And I mean, obviously root for them. I've been to games. I just didn't grow up
You grew up in Georgia,
I'm
right?
from Georgia,
Yeah,
man. It's
little-
like
you guys don't have hockey rinks out down
yeah,
there.
hell no, man. I mean, we had the Atlanta Thrashers. They left.
Oh yeah, you had them for a hot minute. That was it.
That
Boom,
was
gone
it.
by.
I know,
Danny
man.
Heatley.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So crazy. Which I'm pretty sure the Atlanta Thrashers were they Quebec or
No,
Toronto?
Winnipeg.
That's right.
Yeah, and they're back in Winnipeg now.
they are back.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
so it's so funny how in Atlanta there's actually a really like niche group of Winnipeg fans because
can see it.
they were
I
the
can see it.
franchise fans.
If you weren't a musician, what would you be?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I think
Good thing you became.
thank
a musician,
God I never
right?
had to
Yeah,
think about that. But I don't know, man. Like and this sounds so dime a dozen now, but I kind of always did say like I was always a little bit interested in like real estate and stuff. I just think like, I mean, now it seems like you could throw a rock and hit 4 real estate agents, you know, and they don't know what the hell they're
especially
doing.
in Toronto, it's bad.
Oh, dude, it's insane.
I
I mean, dude, you
don't know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna become a real estate agent.
You know the housing market is bad when literally you got 4 friends that are like, I'm doing this as a side hustle now. And it's like, that's a career, bro. Like you got, So I don't know, man. That or
is the housing market bad in Nashville?
yeah, it's kind of leveling out. Like
Toronto's. Any of these people tell you it's
Oh,
absolutely
dude,
like
it's-
mayhem here.
I mean, I bought my home in last.
Well, you
last
bought
year.
Chase-
I bought
Chase's.
Chase's.
You
Yeah,
bought
I bought
Chase's.
Chase. Yeah, baby, Chase McGill.
Chase's brother was the real estate agent too.
Yeah,
Wasn't he?
yeah. Well, I will say it was funny when I bought it from him. He never listed it, but I knew he was selling it, and I literally sat on the balcony of a brewery in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and talked to him for like 20 minutes on the phone, and we just like hashed everything out.
No, you didn't.
And then we just literally, his real estate agent and mine just drafted up the contract. But he was like, "Here's how much I want for it." I was like, "Well, what about this? But we do let's flip some percentages around." He's like, "All right, cool." And like, I mean, I was like, "All right." And I hung up the phone. I was like, "I think I just bought a house." I don't really.
And the girlfriend at the time was probably like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, she's like, "I haven't even seen it yet." What the hell? No, yeah. But she went and saw it. She's like, "All right, cool." She's like, "I like it. Sounds good." So
I love that. And
Yeah,
you guys have
man.
been together. You and the now fiance been together 3 years.
3.5, I think now. October, the end of October will be our 1 year anniversary of getting engaged.
And then the wedding, I think I read somewhere May next
May,
year.
yeah, late
It's exciting.
May.
Do you know where?
Yeah, we got we're getting married just outside of Nashville, a
Nice.
little place on Old Hickory Lake, which will be really cool, and getting married overlooking the lake and stuff. I had to get a little bit of my body of water fishing.
Hey, I
in
don't.
there,
I don't.
you know?
blame- I read something too that you guys aren't going to have any live musicians, just a DJ.
Yeah, just DJ.
Why is that?
She just said, "I don't want to hear no damn band."
That's it.
She
You're
was
not
like,
like,
I
no,
get-
you don't
she's
have. You don't want like Chase to perform or
She's
something.
like, "I get enough of that."
Yeah, that's fair.
She's like, "I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear my dad. I don't want to hear
my
any of my
friends."
yeah. I don't want to hear anybody singing." She's like, "And I'm a send a list, and if I hear a song not on that list, I'm losing my shit." I said, "Okay." I said,
fair.
"I'm cool."
happy
whatever.
wife, happy life, right?
So it'll be a lot of Taylor Swift and Elton John, which that's fine. Hey, I like both.
Hey,
of
man,
them.
Taylor Swift rocks.
Hey, yeah, heck yeah, man.
Have you ever seen Elton John or Taylor Swift live?
I've seen both of them. Yeah,
Both great.
Oh, so good. Yeah, I saw
Sir Elton John.
Sir Elton John.
Sir Elton
correct.
John.
I've seen him twice, and I saw Taylor Swift once. It was really good.
Who's your favorite musician to see live?
And
And then I guess have you ever like performed with them or?
yeah, well, probably my favorite band to see live is Tedeschi Trucks Band, which is Susan Tedeschi and Derek Trucks. Derek Trucks is the nephew of Butch Trucks, who was a founding member of the Allman Brothers Band. Derek played in the Allman Brothers for the last 20 to 25 years of their career.
Okay.
Maybe 15 to 20 years. But he is, I think he's the best living guitar player in the world by a mile. And I've seen them, I think, oh God, 7 times. And the band I've seen the most is a metal band from Richmond, Virginia called Lamb of God. And they're probably one of my...
I think they just performed in Toronto recently.
They may have. They just did it. They're starting a tour right now. I'm going to see them in Indianapolis on Monday, and that'll be my 10th Lamb of God show.
That's crazy.
And 9 of those were with my dad.
Is the big man coming on Monday?
Nah, he can't. He tried so hard, but he just got work. And I'm literally taking my bus and like 10 other dudes.
No, you're not.
Oh yeah, my band is going.
Wait, isn't? Because you're in Georgia on Saturday. And then how far is Indy from Georgia?
Well, we're gonna go home to Nashville on Sunday, and then Indy's like 4 hours from Nashville.
not bad at all.
So we're leaving that morning.
Not bad at
Gonna
all.
bus up, Yeah, it was one of those things like the genius of like just a couple drinks in making plans.
You don't have to tell them.
Me and the boys were like, it's a Monday, let's go. And then I'm like, wait, if we can get 10 people, let's take my bus and we'll split, all this. So now we got.
The best is when you start drinking. It's like every plan that doesn't really make sense
It
makes
comes
so
together.
much sense when you're drinking.
And then we're sitting there talking to like, this is when we were out on tour with Dirks Bentley this summer. Dirks' guitar tech, Calvin, goes, who's all playing it? And I'm like, Lamb of God and this band called Kill Switch Engage. He goes, dude, I used to work for them and I still know those guys. He calls me, goes, I got us 10 tickets. I said, let's go. I'm like, oh my God. So now we're literally, it's like me, my drummer, my bass player, my tour manager. I got 3 of Thomas Rhett's band members coming. I got one of like just all these random. I just started texting people. I'm like, if y'all want to go, so yeah.
We you watch March Madness?
A little bit.
So
I'm not a big basketball guy.
So I'm not like,
but I'm marrying into a University of Kentucky family.
Okay, so now you're kind of
by default, by
yeah,
association.
I'm a North Carolina fan, and so Duke was playing North Carolina March Madness Final Four. Buddy of mine calls me. They're playing on Saturday night. He calls me Thursday. He's like, Rick, let's go. I got 2 free tickets. I was like, fuck, I can't get down to Houston. Like between COVID, work, blah blah blah.
Right.
So I checked flights. Sorry, it was in New Orleans. So I checked flights, like no direct flights. I'm like, man, it's not going to happen. He calls me Friday morning. He's like, look, I found a flight. Let's go to Houston. I'm like, fuck, I'm at work. I can't get a COVID test. Like, I have a work dinner that night. Like, it's impossible. So I'm at my work dinner having drinks, like shooting shit with the boys. After this, we go to another nice little bar around the corner from here. He messaged me. He's like, yo, I found the flight. It leaves at 8 a.m. I'm like, okay, great, but I can't get a COVID test. This is when like you still need a COVID test to travel. He's like, don't worry, I got you at the airport at 5 a.m. They have COVID tests. I was like, it's 11 p.m. I'm out drinking.
Yeah.
He's like, Ricky, just figure it out. I'll book the flight for you. I got points, blah, blah. I somehow made it from the bar at 2 a.m., had to Uber to my parents' house up in Vaughan. They live about like 45 minutes north of the city to grab my passport, Uber down to the airport. Mind you, I'm like...
Same clothes. Same
and I'm
everything.
like, I'm like, I literally grabbed my jersey, my North Carolina jersey at my parents' house, my passport, and like a knapsack with like a toiletry bag in it. Like that was literally it. Made it to the airport, somehow got down there, like still hadn't slept. I slept 2 hours on the flight.
Yeah, but you're so amped up.
Man, and once you get there, like we're driving from Houston to New Orleans. Didn't we lose the keys somehow? It's one of those cars where it's like push to start.
Oh, yeah.
We stopped to get gas, push to start, didn't work. No keys detected. We have no idea what happened with the keys. Had to like... Mind you, and then we're like 2 hours till game time. Had to like call this like CA, whatever it's called. This
the CIA.
No, not CIA. CAA or whatever those car companies are.
Yeah.
Get us a new key, reprogram. We ended up missing like half the first quarter. Just like one of the best worst experiences ever.
Oh yeah,
like,
totally.
Once you like figure it out, you're like, we booked this all like absolutely hammered. Like what were we thinking?
So back to Lamb of God here. See, I grew up like I was really my love for guitar and all that was really through Southern rock, like the Allman Brothers Band, Leonard Skinner.
One of your family, I think it was your dad, right, that played?
My dad's best friend growing up is in the Marshall Tucker Band.
Okay.
And so that was like one of the first connections of like, oh, this is somebody who's like making a living, you know? But as a guitar player and a lover of guitar, it's like, you know, I started playing when I was 11, 12. I want to hear it louder, faster, angrier. So I really fell in love with heavy metal music by kind of going that route, while at the same time loving the songwriting and the storytelling and the, you know, people sing about where they come from. That's why I related to the country music.
Well, so it's very like lovey, like, you know, feel good. You know,
it's a romanticism about your home and where you come from. So I equally love country music and heavy metal. So that's why I love going to see Lamb of God. I had one of those same things, dude. This was in the middle of radio tour, which is like when you're a new artist, you go meet every radio station and you go, hey, here's my song. Nice to meet you. And I got a day off. I'm supposed to fly home the next day. I'm in Florida. I'm in Tampa. And I'm drinking. And I'm like, I'm rocking a little bit, but not like super drunk. I bring up like, oh, yeah, I'm going to see Slayer in like a couple weeks. And Lana from Tampa, she goes, they're playing in Orlando tomorrow night. And I went, you're shitting me. She goes, nah. I got nothing to do. I'm like, I'm single at this point. It's like there's nothing. There's nothing at home. I gotta like go. So I'm like, dude, I'm literally on the phone with Southwest after drinking like 4 Jack and Cokes. And I'm like, hey,
it's nice to know I'm not the only one, Danny? Like, there's other people that are doing what I'm currently doing.
Yeah,
right?
it's like I literally just go like, I'm like, I need to change my flight because Slayer's in Orlando. They're like, what the, like what? I'm like,
sir, just give me the date.
I'm like, and never mind. Yeah, I was like, I need to go out of Orlando in 2 days instead of Tampa. They changed my flight. I call my booking agent and I go, I need a ticket to Slayer and Lamb of God in Orlando. He goes, I can get you one because you're probably the first artist who's ever asked for that. I said, cool. Like, so he calls me 20 minutes later. Got you tickets. I get a hotel room, and I'm like, well, now I just got to figure out how to get from Tampa to Orlando. And
you figured it out, though,
dude, Lana Phillips, my girl, she just goes, I'll drive you there tomorrow. I said, hell yeah. So she picked me up at the airport at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, drove me to Orlando. Man. And I just like, I'm there by myself, again, dressed like this. Like, I had all my clothes, but it's like all I had was like my cowboy boots and all this. And I just sat there and got solo drunk.
But those make the best stories. Like,
oh, dude, it started raining. I was just like,
a day ago, I was like doing X, Y, and Z, and now I'm here doing this. Like, this is wild.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
When we were in Europe, actually, so one of we were all in Ibiza together. Everyone was supposed to go home, and I had like 3 extra days. I'm like, I'm gonna go do Portugal. One of the girls on the trip was like, "Do you want company?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. If you want to come, but like, we're gonna do it. Like, I'm doing my trip. Like, you got to do what I want to do because I'm like, this is what I want to do."
Right.
She's like, "Yeah, that's fine. Cool. I'll come with you." I was like, "Sick, awesome." She ends up switching her flight at the bar the night before. We end up getting there. The next morning we wake up. I'm like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, should we go to Portugal today? You want to go tomorrow? She's like, I don't know, whatever you want to do. I was like, and she's like, you said it was whatever you want to do. I'm like, yeah, but like, I don't know what I want to do. What do you want to do?
So then it turns into like,
it was like, okay, fuck, what are we even doing anymore? So we
Right.
end up staying in Ibiza an extra night, then going to Portugal, doing like 2 or 3 days there. And just, again, when you, like I forget it's like the unexpected, spontaneous like trips that turn out to be the best ones.
Oh, dude, 100%. I remember one of my really good friends, his name is Jared Mullins. Great guy. And he is like the definition.
He's going to be on that fishing trip, eh?
Oh, yeah, dude. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be a groomsman. So,
okay.
Yeah, if you're listening, Jared, I'll probably call you before this. But
well, now you have to.
You know what's funny is like Madison, when she asked all of her bridesmaids and her maid of honor, she built these like beautiful boxes, like these little gift boxes with, she gave everybody like a monogram thing, and she printed all these pictures of them and wrote these beautiful handwritten notes like, would you be my bridesmaid? And it's just
some
so
really
awesome.
nice like Pinterest shit.
Yeah, and I have called everybody. One of mine said, hey, you're going to be a groomsman. And they went, oh, cool. And I went, yeah, here's the date. They said, all right, sweet. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Like,
man, so this year I've been in 3 wedding parties. I have a 4th one coming up. Only one officially like asked me like nicely, like, you know,
Right.
one guy give me a bottle of vodka. I'm a vodka drinker. Gives me a bottle of vodka with a little flask, and, you know, a nice.
That's
little
what I was
handwritten note,
gonna
right?
do.
Something
That's- yeah.
small. The other one of them I found out because on his bachelor party we went to Scottsdale, and he calls me like, Rick, do you want a bed or are you good sleeping on the couch? I'm like, man, whatever you want. He's like, no, groomsmen get a choice of bed. So do you want
you're
a bed
like,
or a couch?
oh, I'm a groomsman. Sweet.
And I was like, oh, I'll take the bed then, I guess. Like, cool. My other buddy calls me, goes, yeah, you know, I'm getting married next summer. Like, you got to be there by my side. I was like, yeah, of course I'll be there. He's like, no, you got to be there, like, by my side. I was like, oh, like, you want me in the wedding party? Like, are you asking me? He's like, yeah, man, you want to be like one of my groomsmen? I was like, of course I do, right? Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's that
And I was at
easy.
Thunder Bay too, like, wild. Like, had to fly out to Thunder Bay for 48 hours. Like, shout out Dom if you're listening.
Dude, I mean, literally, that's how it's been with
But I
everybody.
feel like women
so
do a
far.
good job of it. Like,
Oh,
my
yeah.
brother's fiance, when he asked me to be a groomsman, like, I know it was all her. Like, got us like nice like socks that said like groomsman or something. Like,
Yeah,
little
you're right.
cool
You had
little
nothing
pins,
to do
like,
with this. Yeah.
You know, like nice like picture of us and stuff. I was like, my brother would have been the guy that just like texts me at work. Hey, Rick, you upstairs? Come downstairs. I gotta ask.
I
you
gotta
something."
ask you something.
That would be
hands
him
you a
for sure.
shot. Is
Yeah,
that
hands-
right?
yeah, you want
I
to be a
will
groomsman?
say that I did do something, but I think I'm just gonna save it for the wedding. But I did do something that involved like a little bit of that. But I just like I was gonna do like flask, and I custom made logos for everybody pertaining to like what they love to do.
Yeah.
Or like, and so
You got like 6 fishing flasks.
yeah, I got like 6. I got a fishing flask for Trip, who's my fishing buddy. My best man, Brian Briggs, he is a pilot. So I made like Briggs Air, like his little
Okay,
logo.
yeah.
Like, so I got all this stuff I've
Okay, so
done.
you did all right. You did.
Yeah. I just forgot to do it, and then I was like, damn, we're like less than a year away. I probably need to just call these dudes and tell them they need to be there. So Oh well. Sorry, y'all.
Do you want a big wedding or a small wedding? Actually, well, you would probably know at this point.
It's gonna be a pretty very small reception, or sorry, small ceremony, and then we've invited more people to the reception, and that was just her call. I mean, again, it's like
happy wife, happy life.
Well, I want it to be a special day, and we talked about early on, and she mainly was like, she's like, can we just like go to the courthouse and like let's just not even do a wedding? And my thing was I kind of fought for a wedding only because I was like, I know a lot of people have done that, and they usually regret not having some kind of ceremony for their like grandparents and their parents. Yeah. And I told her, I said, I think you want your grandparents there. And the more we talked about it, she came around, and then now we're having this super badass, crazy wedding, and just I think it's going to be so beautiful and so great. And but it's like, man, we're inviting people to the reception that like probably could be in the ceremony, but I'm like, guys, nobody even gives a damn about that part. Like, we want to hug your neck in our dress and tux and say thanks for being here, and I'm like, that's what y'all want too. Like, y'all don't want to sit for 10 minutes and hear us go, oh, I love you, bye, be done. Yeah. So small reception, essentially just family, but with a few very close friends, and then then we'll just have a party and be done with it.
You gonna have the cowboy boots on?
Probably not gonna be wearing these. I'll probably change into some boots for the reception. Yeah, because she's gonna change into boots. But I have been told no boots at the wedding, which is fine. I'll get super duper dressed up.
That's fair. So the wedding is next year.
Yeah.
What else you got going on for next year? I'm assuming so you got the tour this year.
Yeah, touring with Jake Owen through this tour, and then next year I think we're gonna probably do a lot of like headline stuff, like some clubs and stuff, and then my biggest goal too, just in the summer, is like I just kind of want to get on the festival train again and go. I love festival season and the
favorite festival.
Oh man,
sorry, favorite festival as like an attendee or just like as a person, and then what's the favorite one you've played?
Okay, cool. So my favorite,
two separate. Those are completely different.
Well, my favorite festival I ever attended, and it's sad it doesn't exist anymore, but it was called Wani Festival, and it was in Spirit of Swanee State Park in Florida. And this was a Allman Brothers Band literal festival. They owned it. They headlined 2 nights, and then all the bands below it were kind of like Southern rock or like descendants or cousins of like the Allman Brothers. So you would have like Government Mule, which was Warren Haynes, who was a member of the Allman Brothers. And it was such a badass festival. They only sold like 20,000 tickets, which is a lot, but it ain't crazy. You're not on top of people. It was in the middle of April. It'd be like low 60s, high 70s during the day. And me and my dad went. He literally pulled me out of high school to go to these.
That's the best.
Favorite one to play, I think I'm going to have to go Tortuga, which is a Live Nation festival Brian O'Connell puts on the beach. I mean, you're literally playing to like people on the beach.
Sand, yeah.
Just unbelievable.
You can't get like anytime you're listening to music like during the day with like thousands of other people on a beach, or like outside, sun's up. It's just the best,
and it's the best backstage for artists.
Okay,
they do IVs. Got one in the morning, so I could drink all day, be fine.
That's it.
And then they have a private beach set up for the artists, and I'm literally out there. And hey, I hate to wrap it all the way back around, but bait fish all around us. I'm like, this is badass, dude. There's fish everywhere.
Wait, please, do you have anything crazy on your rider?
Nah, just Jack Daniels, Casamigos, and potato chips and hummus. That's pretty much it.
Oh, you should just throw in something random, just for the story.
Like a whole red snapper.
I was literally just saying, you need fish. Like that's it. Like, hey, I want fresh fish.
An uncooked whole red snapper.
That's it. Yeah, just even if you don't even eat it, just there.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna just like throw it around the room or something, like some rock star shit like that.
Man, yeah, honestly, you have to. Part, that'll be part of your thing.
That's it. Yeah. Our rider's not too crazy.
That's all right. So obviously you have the show tonight. Then you head to. Well, I guess tonight's a week ago now because this is releasing in a week.
A week ago, I had the show
in Toronto.
Yeah.
You got Georgia, and then you got some other shows coming up later on.
Yeah, I think we're going to Florida at the beginning of October, and then after that we start the Jake Owen tour. So it'll be good, man. I'm very excited, but I'm also kind of looking forward to a break. It's been a long
I feel like
year.
summertime's like that go season for country artists, right? Like
We're just gone every
yeah,
day.
you don't stop.
I mean, it's so crazy, and the fall gets more to like weekends.
Yeah.
And then
Then winter's like
second,
writing time.
third week of like December, you're kind of done, and you can chill out and it's good. So I'm excited.
Well, man, I think that's a great note to kind of end up on. Appreciate you coming in. This has been awesome. Looking forward to the show tonight. I don't normally listen to country music, but I can 100% say that country concerts are hands down the best concerts to go to.
I think so.
I have
man.
I have my boots. I have my cowboy hat. I'm ready to rock and roll tonight. So you'll see me in
You
there.
just need some whiskey in your blood, baby.
We got one here for sure, man. Don't you worry. But appreciate you coming on. If people want to find out more about you, what you're doing, the tour, where can they go? How can they find you?
All social media. I'm the one with the blue check mark, not the one asking you for gift cards and money.
Or cryptocurrency. Buy
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies.
I'm not Travis Denning 01278437212.
Yeah.
I'm just Travis Denning with a blue check mark.
Beauty. Man, again, appreciate you coming on. Looking forward to the show tonight.
Thanks, buddy.
And if you made it to the end of this, we appreciate you, love you. Share this with your friends. Subscribe. Give Travis a follow. And other than that, stream his new EP.
Yep. Might as well be me.
And there we go. Cheers, pals.